All right, guys. I wanted to do something a little special for Zach's Gear Corner today. I didn't want it to just be me.
Me, somebody who absolutely knows and uses gear all the time.
We're going to be playing a little game. The objective of the game is to argue for or against a given piece of filmmaking gear.
Something I'm very good at.
To start us off, we're going to be using a sandbag.
For or against? Where are you?
I'll
Zach?
do for the sandbag.
Okay.
I'll be pro sandbag. Okay. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. I'm going to be explaining to you in 3, 2, 1. So here's the thing with a sandbag. Sandbags are the lifesaver of every set. You got to have them. It's the one thing that's probably more underappreciated than any other piece of equipment. Everyone wants to talk about cameras, everyone wants to talk about lights, but here's the thing, is you wouldn't even be able to talk about those things unless you survived long enough to be able to talk about them. And let me just say, it's pretty hard to survive the fatal blow of a 20-pound light on a C-stand boomed overhead, whacking you in the face. And that, my friend, is a fate that you can avoid with this here sandbag. And that has been my time. I pass it on to you, Matteo. Here is the sandbag.
All right, you're going to have to time me because my watch isn't one of those fancy little ones.
I got you. So let me know when you're ready.
All right, you're quite a pitch man, Zach. Let's go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, you see, the thing is that in a modern environment where you're filming, you're not running 20-pound lights, or rather, you don't have to. You're running your entire camera setup on an iPhone. You have a minimal mic, sometimes Bluetooth, not even wired. So the sandbag is really just weight holding you down. You can't be quick and dirty if the sandbag is in your way. It's holding all the dirt in. That is my pitch for why the sandbag's not that great, which is to say it's heavy, it's outdated, it's anachronistic, and it does not mesh with the modern filmmaking philosophy.
And that is time. Nicely said. I also forgot I was going to do a thing, and now I fear that my audio is bad. Could you hear me decently?
Yeah, decently.
Decently?
I would maybe talk more into the mic for...
I'll do this. This will be better. But
Yeah.
I meant to do it and I forgot. But all right, so I see your point, right? Lighter, lights, they don't need to be held down as much. There are really great stands that are planted in place. They're not going to tip over as much. But what if you want to get a overhead shot where your camera or your light is extended out really far? I mean, even the lightest weight package is going to fall over without a sandbag. So I see what you're saying is if your light is in like a normal position, but otherwise, like if it's not, you just don't have that creative freedom.
There are use cases for use cases for the sandbag, just like there are use cases for shooting on film. I just feel that within the sort of young filmmaking setup, there's not necessarily all that much need for the sandbag as compared to years prior.
So it's not a first choice.
It's not a first choice. I can use a sandbag all the time, and that's fine.
Here's my thing. Why not buy a sandbag? Because a sandbag is like $5. It costs almost nothing. You're already investing all this money into lights and stands. Why not invest the extra $5 to be able to allow yourself to boom it overhead and do all sorts of other things? You can just leave it in your car if you don't want to use it, so it's not even like it's holding you back from a weight.
I mean, I would say why
perspective.
not spend that $5-10 on a cord for your mic, because sound is better than production value. Generally, sound is so much more production value. And again, like I am a sandbag fan. Basically, all of our shoots have used them in some way or another.
So you're saying if you were broke and completely out of money, you wouldn't spend your last $5 on a sandbag?
No, I would spend it on an XLR cable for a boom mic.
So our next piece of gear, this little guy. Do you know what this is, Matteo?
It's an SSD.
No. This is a hard disk drive. This is a
it's an
lacy...
HDD.
Yeah, this is a lacy, rugged hard drive. And, the OG filmmakers from like 15 years ago will know exactly what this is. It's a very iconic way to store your media. Not just on a hard drive, but like on this specific one. So I think we're going to swap for this one.
Okay.
I'm going to give the floor to you. You have 30 seconds, Matteo, to pitch me on why you need a 4 terabyte lacy, rugged hard drive. Is there any details you need about it before you start arguing for it?
How much did it cost roughly right now?
It's on par with most hard drives, maybe slightly more expensive. I think this one's 4 terabytes. I think it was $150.
All right, so it's a hard drive. We all know hard drives. They're tried and true technology. Lacey itself is one of the more reliable ones, one of the more iconic ones to store all your media on. But look at how much SSDs cost for 4 terabytes. For even like 2 terabyte drives are kind of insane. So why not just go with something that is proven in the industry and gives you what you need at a reasonable price? Maybe a little more, but you're paying more for quality already. Why spend all the way? Yeah, that's it.
That is time. 3, 2, 1. All right. Lacey Rugged hard drive, more like Lacey Schmugged hard drive, because this, look, Matteo's point might have been valid, but this isn't 2016. SSDs don't cost a ton of money anymore. You can get a 4 terabyte SSD for more like $150 as well. It's slow, it's clunky, takes a while to spin up. Like, why do you want this on your desk when you can have a nice, neat little SSD that's way faster? You can actually edit in real time, and that is time.
Yeah. Honestly, I was not aware that you could get a quality 4 terabyte for.
And let me just make your case for you. Nowadays, it's like, or they're about the same price, but you can get more capacity.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
But I'm just saying, my whole thing is like, you don't need like a 15, 18 terabyte hard drive. It's a lot more useful to have a 4 terabyte SSD. And when they cost the same, yeah, you're getting more storage out of the hard drive. But like, what you really need nowadays is fast storage for accessing your 4K clips.
Yeah, and just file transfer.
Yeah, it's way faster. So like, what's the purpose of a hard drive anymore?
There is something to be said for tried and true legacy technology. It's like an analog typewriter. It's not faster nor better than a word processor. But I do feel that at the price for whatever, in this case, an HDD, for the price, you're like, yeah, this is something that I know will work. It's like an AK-47. It was designed almost 100 years ago, but
let me cut you off because technically the SSD is more reliable. The hard drive has mechanical components that could fail. So what's your point about it's not robust particularly? Maybe this Lacey is slightly more robust than the other ones, but less robust than your average SSD.
It's the proven aspect of it, which
I'll
give you like the SSD is just much better, and I've said this, I've agreed.
Are you filled with nostalgia about the hard disk drive?
I don't know. It's something that I'm like, it's always worked for me. Why should I move to something else unless I have to?
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Well, with that, let's move on to our last piece of filmmaking gear, which is everyone's favorite. Haze in a can. Hey, haze in a can, guys. All right. Well, if you
is this going to be like the third week in a row, Zach?
Dude, I talk about haze in a can every day. What are you talking about? Time to put 30 seconds on the clock. I'm going to be arguing about why haze in a can is amazing.
Okay. You do every day. I'll call you up on the phone. You're like, have you heard about haze in a can?
All right. 30 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, action. If you've seen Zach's Gear Corner from 2 weeks ago, you'll know that haze in a can is one of the most nifty little things that you could buy as a filmmaker. It adds so much volume to your shot. It allows you to get more mileage out of your lights because the way that the haze interacts with the lights allows you to see the light beams and really shape the light even further. And as an artist, really, it's all about having that creative freedom to create the look that you're going for that's going to best tell your story. And haze in a can does that better than anything else. And for $5, I think you can't beat it.
Time to be a negative Nancy.
3, 2, 1, go.
Despite being portable, haze in the can is just not a sustainable way to create that haze. You can use a fog machine. They're not expensive. They're pretty easy to use, and they're not as bad for the environment as all the aerosols in haze cans are. You're killing the planet, period. That's time.
I retract everything. Okay. Okay. 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go. Really that much of a hater? You really care about the planet? You think I should care about how my shots look? Make them look worse for the planet? It's going to be here as long as I'm alive, so why do I care? I'm just here to make good art.
I do feel that there are ways to utilize more sustainable means that you're not just blasting aerosols like
Sure.
it's the 60s and you're putting a
It
whole.
is probably better to, and also like you really have to lay it on thick to get like a heavy effect with it.
Yes,
but
I remember.
that's not the point of haze in a can. Haze in a can is kind of like, it's like a pocket knife. Like, yeah, a machete is more effective for a lot of things, but sometimes you just need to pull it out of your pocket, do the job, spray a little bit in the air, get that volume, get a great looking shot, and move on with your day.
I don't disagree. Like in moderation, it's not harmful.
Different tools for different jobs. And I'm just saying it's really handy. And
Yeah.
for $5, I mean, it's probably more like 20
Yeah, it's nifty. I'll give you that.
is nifty.
That's all I got. It's nifty.
Well, let us know in the comments who you think had the most compelling argument.
Clearly myself. Let's go. That's not even a competition.